So this might be a bit of a controversial take. Although, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think there's many Xbox Series S gamers out there. But could this console, the worse version of the Series X that Microsoft put out for whatever reason, could it ruin GTA 6 for PS5 players? And maybe ruin is a strong word, but could Rockstar developing for this underpowered console affect the game for PS5? And then obviously, presumably PC down the line. That is the question I wanted to take a look at in today's GTA 6 video. So first off, I just wanted to go over the consoles to explain my thought process here. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but the big differences between these two consoles, the Series X, the more expensive one, and then the Series S, is basically GPU power. The Series X has a better GPU, and then the Series X also has more RAM, and maybe better RAM, I'm not entirely sure. I believe, though, the CPU is relatively the same on both. But those two things, the GPU and the memory, the RAM, as you can see from this picture, mainly has to do with the frame rate and the resolution. The Series S cannot go up to 1440p, which is 2K, unless they have the upscaling. And then the frame rate, it says up to 120 FPS, but the majority of the time, it's a lot lower compared to the Series X. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this question up is because I saw this article. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's scope was impacted by the Xbox Series S's limitations. It will run at 4K 30 FPS on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Now, we're not going to talk about the game too much, although I will admit the Kingdom Come Deliverance first game was really good, and I'm excited for the second one here. But the developers are coming out and stating the Xbox Series S hardware has limitations, and as a developer, they could not expand on really what they wanted to because of those limitations. And he says right here, this is the producer of the game, the technical limitations, namely the 10 gigabytes of RAM, which is very small, have impacted the game's scope. And what's a bit interesting is this next sentence, the Series S, the weakest current gen console, only has 25% more RAM compared to the PS4 and I guess maybe the Xbox One, so the console before it, which meant that they could only make the game 25% bigger than the predecessor. And to me, this sounds like they wanted to make it a lot bigger, but they couldn't because they were limited to only 25% because of this Xbox Series S. And apparently this isn't the first time that this console has impacted development. And here's another article that maybe just gives a little bit more detail here. Kind of just says the same stuff though. Like many other developers, they mentioned the limitation of the Xbox Series S and the 10 gigabytes of memory. So their goal was to make the game 25% bigger, since the Xbox Series S has 25% more memory than the PS4 and Xbox One. And actually in the comments of this article, it was stated here that this 25% bigger stuff, it's obviously a simplification of the whole issue. However, he did not say that they originally had a larger vision. Maybe it was, but it wasn't something that was directly said. But I mean, yeah, reading between the lines, it definitely sounds like they wanted to make the game a bit bigger, but they couldn't because they were limited by the Series S. So how does that bring us to GTA 6? Well, apparently ignoring the Xbox Series S is not an option. Apparently, according to Microsoft, if you release the game on the Xbox Series X, you also have to release it on the S. So GTA 6 will be releasing on the Xbox Series S. Now, before we get into some of the bad stuff, some of the good stuff, maybe hopeful news, is that frame generation is a technology that is getting better and better as we progress, and who knows what it's going to be like in 2025 when the game releases. But FSR 3 apparently is coming to consoles. I don't obviously play on console, but apparently it's coming to console, or it's in the process, or it is already there. I'm not entirely sure, but this was a recent article. I believe right now most of the consoles are FSR 2, but FSR 3 obviously is better. I'm not going to go into the specifics of frame generation because it's very nerdy and it doesn't really matter that much. But you can basically see here what it does is it increases your frames, but it does increase the latency a bit. It's not really noticeable, but you can see here, I don't know what game they were testing, Baldur's Gate 3 maybe, but it went from 50 to 85 with the frame gen. And then on the Series S, it went from 62 to actually 111. So quite a bit of a bump there. But that is the hopeful news by the time GTA 6 comes out, this FSR 3, maybe it'll be on FSR 4, and the game won't need to run at 30 FPS. It could be ran at 60 or 90 or 120 or even more if possible. Now the bad, we could end up having a cyberpunk situation here just for the Series S at least. I mean, it is Rockstar, so look, I guess we can give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't usually have a mess of a launch for their games. Like, their games launch relatively bug-free, and it's because they take forever to make them. But if anyone remembers Cyberpunk at launch on I think this was the PS4, I mean, you just had some crazy screenshots where people would be T-posing while riding your bike. Here was one where like the NPC's face just would not load. And the majority of this was because Cyberpunk is a massive game and it was on the PS4. Like, that console just was not capable of handling this game. And that's kind of the issue that I'm a little worried about for the Series S. Like, GTA 6, from what we've seen, looks amazing. It looks gigantic. But are Rockstar going to have to dumb some stuff down because of the Xbox Series S? And this isn't anything new. That's another reason why I'm a tiny bit worried. GTA 5, here are some shots from the beta or the alpha. And then, of course, when the game came out, a lot of stuff was actually removed because of performance, presumably. Like a bunch of trees, a bunch of foliage. The game looks a bit different when you look at it in the beta stage compared to when it released at launch. And we might have that same sort of thing happen with GTA 6 because of those Xbox Series S limitations. I mean, hearing a new open world games development team say the Xbox Series S basically nerfed what we wanted to do doesn't give me much hope. Obviously, look, it's Rockstar. They're like the kings of development. They always push boundaries. They always do things that no other developer does. But at the end of the day, they are limited to the hardware. And yeah, RDR2 came out on the PS4 and the Xbox One. So what is 25% of RDR2? 25% better of RDR2? I don't know. And that's probably really good. I'm hoping for GTA 6 to be a lot better than RDR2. Look, RDR2 is great, but that's like a 6-year-old game at this point. And it'll be a 7-year-old game by the time GTA 6 comes out. So GTA 6 should presumably be a lot better, a lot bigger than RDR2. But could that Series S, the little bro console, ruin my hopes? I don't know. I mean, obviously this is a question none of us have the answer to. Maybe Rockstar are going to develop the game for the Xbox Series X and the PS5 and then presumably for PC. And then on the Xbox Series S, they'll just nerf the game heavily. Maybe it'll just be specific to the Series S, like lower resolution, way turn down density of the NPCs, of the foliage, of the graphics. Like, if they were to make compromises, unlike GTA 5's downgrade where it affected everything, maybe it could just affect the Series S version of the game and not just the entire game itself. But yeah, this is definitely maybe something to think about, something to be concerned about until we, of course, know more information. And I'm curious to hear anyone's thoughts in the comment section, because the Xbox Series S is I think it was a failed console. Like, the Series X is good, but do many people really have the Series S? The people who play on the Series S, the percentage is probably so low, and it seems like that console is causing issues for developers. And I guess at this point, we just have to hope it doesn't impact Rockstar. But that is going to do it for today's GTA 6 video. Thank you guys for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA 6 content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.